A&E Network's new original drama series Longmire is a contemporary crime thriller based on the Walt Longmire mystery novels by best-selling author Craig Johnson. Well, writer, director, producer, and actor Diamond Phillips returns to television in Longmire as Henry Standing Bear. And guess what? He's joining us here this morning. Good morning, Diamond Phillips. Big fan and so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I appreciate you having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. And I want to mention to viewers that the series is actually set in Wyoming, but it is being shot in and around Santa Fe. And you are no stranger to northern New Mexico because in 1988 and 90, you co-starred in Young Guns 1 and 2, one of my favorites, with Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland. So welcome back to New Mexico.
Thrilled to be here. You know, love this part of the country, love this part of the world. The funny thing is, a number of people on our Longmire crew actually worked with me, you know, on Young Guns 1 and 2. So thank God we're all still standing and still employed.
Yeah, it's like a reunion of sorts and everybody's still working. That's a good thing. What do you do for fun in Santa Fe when you're not working, I have to ask?
Oh my gosh, well I've actually been doing a lot of writing recently, so in my downtime I've been doing that mostly, but I mean, you know, as everyone knows, there are amazing restaurants, you know, and places to go in Santa Fe. Plus we have a very, very tight cast. I cook a lot, and so I've cooked dinner, a number of times for my cast and my crew. You know, Robert Taylor, who plays Walt Longmire, Bailey Chase, Katie Sackhoff, Cassidy Freeman, and so yeah, we've become this sort of tight-knit little gypsy band being on location and away from our families.
I love it. Well, let's talk about Longmire, of course, your latest project. And Robert Taylor of The Matrix stars as Sheriff Walt Longmire, as you mentioned, your character's friend and trusted confidant. So tell us the premise of the series and how it all comes together.
Well, as you said, they're based on the novels by Craig Johnson, the Walt Longmire mysteries, and I'm very proud to report that his latest novel, As the Crow Flies, just debuted at number 17 on the New York Times bestseller list. So this is definitely a big, wide-open spaces kind of Western, but it is contemporary, and our crimes run from marijuana grows on the reservation to prostitution, murder, obviously, everything anybody wants in a television show.
Absolutely.
But we certainly. We certainly have different characters. I mean, in a way, they're a throwback, and I really don't feel like there's anything like us on television right now. You know, guys whose word is their bond and their handshake, is good enough, and just decent human beings, and I think it's going to be a refreshing breath of fresh air, for a lot of people, and especially people who can relate to these characters. Not everyone can relate to the gritty urban crime dramas and all the cynicism that are going on.
Sure.
These are guys cut right out of Americana, and I'm very proud to tell these stories, but also to play these roles.
Yeah, tell us about your character. I'm curious about that character in particular.
Henry Standing Bear is a Northern Cheyenne man, and actually when I landed the gig, I flew to Montana to go to the Cheyenne Reservation and to do blessing with some of the brothers, and to get blessed by some of the tribal elders. Certainly I sat down with the tribal chief. But Henry is Walt's best friend. They grew up together. They've known each other 38 years as far as the television series is concerned. I'm godfather to his daughter, played by Cassidy Freeman. And I'm not only his liaison to the reservation, I'm sort of his sounding board. I'm his touchstone, and at times even his moral compass. So, and there's a real dry Western wit and sense of humor to a lot of it. So
what a great character.
They write some really good stuff for me.
Yeah, and in addition to this character, many of us know you have more than 90 stage and screen credits to your name. When did you catch the acting bug?
Oh, it's more like a genetic defect, actually. I did my very first play in the 6th grade, and I never looked back. I have a degree in theater from the University of Texas at Arlington. I got my first film in Dallas, Texas when I was 19. So it's been a long and passionate love affair for me, and what I'm very proud of is that at this point in my life, with 4 daughters and a lot of different films and television appearances, I really feel as if I'm getting some of my best roles. Henry Standing Bear is certainly one of them. I have a wonderful film called Philly Brown coming out in the theaters with my old buddy Edward James Olmos in September or October.
Oh, I can't wait to see you together again. That's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of stuff going on, but hey, my daughters, they eat every day. I don't understand it.
Yeah, they got to do what they got to do. And do you have a favorite role that you've played? I mean, I know as a fan, we all have favorite roles of yours, but what's your favorite role that you've played? Do you have one?
You know, because of my theater background, you know, where I did the classics, I did Shakespeare, and then I did Mammoth, and I did, you know, comedy, and I did heavy drama. I sort of did it all. I can never say that there's only one thing that I love to do.
Yeah.
And I think people can take a look at my filmography and realize that I've never tried to repeat myself.
That's so true.
I've always, you know, taken on different roles and tried to be a character lead, if you will, and adapt to the needs of the character. But I mean, obviously a few stand out. You know, I mean, La Bamba, Stand and Deliver Young Guns, huge favorites of mine. The Big Hit, kind of an obscure little crazy comedy. Courage Under Fire, huge favorite of mine.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying some
of my favorites. And then obviously, you know, the Tony nomination for The King and I. So I've been fortunate.
You really have, and you've brought us so much joy with your work. And you've actually received more than a dozen awards for those who don't know. In fact, I want to mention that you won an Independent Spirit Award and a Golden Globe nomination for your role in Stand and Deliver, and the Tony nomination for your performance, as you said, in the production of The King and I. But this is something I really want to share, is that you've told the story about an evening in Hollywood when you ran into Sidney Poitier, who said, "Lou, you're a leading man because you're a good actor." What was that like? Was that the ultimate validation, hearing that from him?
How did you hear about that story?
My producer does some seriously good research, I'll tell you.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No, I was actually very fortunate. I was having, you know, dinner in this restaurant, and Mr. Poitier was there, and we had actually appeared on the Tonight Show together at one point. And but I didn't get a chance to really speak to him. And you know, being an actor of color, if you will, even though people don't know what the heck I am for the most part, you know, I know that I've always been an outside-the-box kind of actor, and a leading man at that. And I took the opportunity to tell Mr. Poitier that I said, you know, because of you and because of a handful of people like you, you opened the door so that somebody like me could come in and be a leading man. And his response to me was, "No, Lou, you're a leading man because you're a good actor." And, you know, of course, I burst into tears in the middle of a restaurant.
Well, that's one of those moments I don't think anybody would care to control themselves. That's incredible and well-deserved. The compliment is well-deserved. And as you said, you're also a great cook. So I have to say, we cook here on New Mexico Style all the time. You are officially invited while you are in town to please come cook with us anytime you want. You are an open invitation guest for us. Absolutely.
Thank you. I'll have to whip something up.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Lou, and we wish you continued success in your career. I want to mention Longmire premieres this Sunday on A&E, and we'll be looking forward to that. Oh, isn't he a nice guy? Love him. Now, coming up next on New Mexico Style, it's not the same old song and dance. You'll be seeing all about the details from the Albuquerque Folk Festival. Don't go away.